Passa a mão na dela, ô novinha, vou falar pra tu. Bota, 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 bota.
Alright, so first, I would recommend learning how to do this in third person, because actually if you learn how to do it both, learning in third person, it'll make it easier when you go for revives, which is most of the time what people want to look cool doing when they do a big trimp like that. Me personally, I don't use jump pads, cause I don't know, it just seems unnecessary to me, but some people do. It just depends on the person, I guess. But other than that, I'll get into how to do it. So most people, what they'll do is they'll just place a jump pad right here, and then like a speed pad right here. And this isn't really helpful, because if you do this, you just run straight up, depending on the surface, you might go a little high. Versus if you go flick movement, it's like that, which is what you really want to do, is flicking, because it's like the sudden change of your camera's going to make you speed up. Because like, for example, if you go like that, see my speed goes up when I turn fast. And then there's two different types. I'm going to link a timestamp of like where to go in the video to learn the different types. So first I'm going to be talking about and how to do it, and then second I'll be talking about spin like that and how to do it. So I'm going to leave the timestamp for that one if you just want to skip to that, because okay. Alright, so first off, the flick one, what you're going to do is you're going to want to run up and then just flick and press D in the direction, like for me, since I'm going right, I'll press D and W. I mean, I guess, yes, if you don't press D and W, or for mobile, if you don't turn your camera in the direction you're facing and your joystick, then you're not gonna go high. So like, this is just pressing W, see, it doesn't do anything. But for me, if I turn my mouse right and then press D as well, you go way higher. And it's the same for the left as well. So that's that. I'm going to talk about it in first person because it's different. Alright, so for first person, you're gonna be doing the same thing essentially, except you can go like a little more aggressive on the flick. And if you want to, you can even, bounce, look down the opposite direction you're gonna go. I found that just helps me a little bit. And so essentially, you don't want to rely, like if you're using a jump pad here, you don't want to rely like fully on the jump pad, because it's kind of hard to go high if you're not jumping. You still can, but you're supposed to jump near the end of the trimp. So like, this is me without jumping. Okay, wait, let me see. This is me without jumping. Like, you don't really get much, but then this is including the jump. So it's pretty essential to time your jumps there as well. All I can really say for that is just practice. And it's just practice. There's a couple spots you can do on this map. This is one of them. You can flick yourself off of anything like this, like these things, ramps. You can do it as well. And then this, anything like these things. There are a couple that are too steep though, like over here. You can't do it on this, you won't go up it. You can do it on this. You go here, you can just flick up, you go flying, go here, flick up. So you can pretty much do it to any surface here. And then once you get the hang of that, it becomes like really easy. Like here, flick, I'll go flying. But for me, I don't really use this one because it's not as satisfying for me. So I don't know, it's not as fun for me. Alright, so now I'm going to be talking about the spinning one. which for me is my personal favorite. I feel like I go higher. I think this one is better for mobile. It's easier for me whenever I play on mobile, at least. So for this, I would actually practice both third and first until you get perfected, and then you can pretty much play first because you already know how to play third, so you need to practice. So for this, basically all you want to do is you're running, and I would recommend looking away from where you're trying to do it. So like, I don't like for this, I don't like looking straight at this when I'm about to do it and then turning. I mean, you can do it, it's still gonna be the same, but for me it's just like an extra step. I like just going like around, like I'll go like around this corner and then turn like that, or like around the opposite corner. I'll go like right here. Alright, so like I was saying, I like to go around the corner like right here and then turn, because it's just much more satisfying for me. You can do this pretty much all the same surfaces you can do the flick one on. There's just like maybe a couple that the flick would be better on. It's dependent. Like there's some that this is better on, and there's some that the normal just flick is better on. And so once you learn how to do these, you'll be pretty much good to go with jump pads. You don't really need to practice with jump pads because it's really just limiting you if you rely on it. So I'd recommend perfecting, getting good at these two styles first, and then the only thing about jump pads you have to worry about is where you place it. You have to make sure you place it in a decent spot so you don't just like mess yourself up. And once you get good enough, like for me, I don't even use jump pads because I feel like it honestly just messes me up more than anything. So like you turn, and for this one, basically all you do is once you get to about like right here, if you're going from the side, you'll start running up it, and as you're running up it, you just want to flick your camera until you're facing backwards, so like a 180, and then once you're in the air, you can slowly turn around. But you have to flick it because the flicking movement makes you go fast. So like if I don't flick it and I just go like this, okay, wait, there's that example. You don't have to flick it like super fast, but like if I go like this and I just turn slowly, like I don't go as high, versus if I go, you know, like you go way higher. So you have to have some sort of like movement where your legs turn really fast. And you also have to make sure you're doing the same thing as the flicking one, where as I'm turning this way, like to go up it, I'm also pressing A and turning my screen to the right. So this one is a lot more complicated, but I think it's better. You do have to face it the opposite way you're going, versus the flick one, you face it the way you're going. Like I'm facing A, so my camera goes left. What the hell did I just say? I'm going left, so I press A and face my camera left. But for this one, if I'm going left with my key, so if I'm pressing A, my camera goes to the right. So it's kind of the opposite. And for mobile, this one's pretty easy. You don't even really need to move your joystick. I think you just turn your camera. And so you just turn your camera the direction you want to go as you're going up the ramp. You flick it like 180 degrees, and that's pretty much it. Alright, so for mobile, it's essentially the same thing, except it's actually easier because you don't need to move your joystick in the direction opposite of what you're doing. So like if you look at my gameplay here, my joystick is just staying straight the whole time, and then as I'm going up the ramp, I'm slowly and then progressively getting faster at the top of the ramp, turning my camera and going flying backwards. So it's actually a lot easier than PC in my opinion to learn. I learned it literally the first day I ever played on my phone. I started being able to do this. And so you can't really do the flicking one all that well. If you really want to learn it, I'm sure you can. I'm not good at it, but the backwards one is quite easy for me, so I'll go more in depth about it and just explain like how it's useful and then how to use it with the jump pads. So like here, if you look, I'm placing the jump pad, and I'm going to give a preview of pretty much how it looks. If you do it correctly, you should go flying like this. I think if you get good enough at it, you will go even higher, even farther, whatever. But as I said, I'm not the best on mobile. I'm actually pretty bad. This was pretty L recording. I was actually out of cola, so I'm gonna have to do the rest of the tutorial without it. And so here, I was just messing around trying to get the flick down, but I couldn't. So, like I was saying, for mobile, I would really strongly recommend learning the backwards one because it's so much easier, and it's, in my opinion, it's better than the flick because it's way more satisfying, and it's, you know, I think you can actually go farther. And so essentially it's the same as the PC. As you start on the bottom, you want to slowly turn your camera, and the farther up you get, you flick it until you're facing completely backwards from where you started, like seen there, and you should go flying. And it's just a lot of practice. And next up I'll be talking about bounce pads, how to use them, and like the correct placement for them as well. Alright, so like I said, placement matters a lot. So like, you want to go like close to the top of the thing, and if you want, place a speed pad here. And so now that you know how to turn, you're gonna, go up, and it should send you flying. Like this is versus if you run up it, which most people will do. But if you go here, you go boom. See, now you go flying. It's just, you have to know how to trimp to do it normally, but I wouldn't rely on this all the time. Some bad spots, like for ice break, for example, I can go here and go just as high, even farther too. So it's like, why would I bother doing that, you know? So it's really just a matter of preference. Like if you like it more, you can do it, but I wouldn't rely on it too much. Like, see, you can go pretty high if you do it right, but it's just extra money. I mean, it's pretty cool to be able to, like, save people like this, yeah, but it's not always the best thing to do, because sometimes it can really mess you up.
You have
especially when you place it wrong. It's just a waste of money when you place it wrong.
You have
Jeez, bro. Like, let me see if I can get any higher. That was terrible. It's also like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it's sometimes it's like inconsistent versus when you just learn to do it yourself.
You have to put this.
So yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know. I think for the jump mods, I would say the backwards trimp is better because I don't know why, but I just think it's better. It's more satisfying, but if you don't want to spend a lot of time trying to learn how to do it and you want to get good now, then I would definitely recommend the flicking one. Unless you're on mobile, I'd say just learn the backwards one. It's a lot easier. It's easier than
Put the CD.
Yeah, that's the tutorial. I hope it made sense. Hope it wasn't yapping too much. Thank you for watching.